Have you ever felt like you're running on empty even when everything in your life seems fine? That was me a few months ago. That was me last year. That was me the year before. And even the year before that. I had to be extremely productive to feel good as a human being. And that productivity is not really just even getting things done. I needed to have proof that I had things done. So I needed to be extremely tired. I hit a wall. And it's not the cute type of wall where you journal it out or you do your regular self-care routine, take a rest, take a bath, sleep, all of that just to get out of it. I'm talking about real life burnout. The kind where you just want to escape life. You're feeling so tired from within. Everything physically looks good. You can't really place where the problem is. Actually, you can't even recognize it as burnout, but it's burnout. It's eating you from the inside out. You don't know what the problem is, but you feel the problem. You feel like something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. You can't see a picture. That is burnout. If you can relate to the sentence of I can't do this anymore, I am just tired, then you're burnt out. In this video, I'm going to share how I hit burnout, what that looked like for me, and the exact steps I took to start feeling like myself again. I'm sharing with you the exact ways that took me from low energy, depleted version of myself into this woman that you're seeing right now, glowing by the grace of God, grounded by the grace of God, way better. I feel like myself again. I feel like I have a grip of things. I feel like me again. I feel like Lucy again. And I want to share that with you guys. I want to tell you what all of this looked like for me when I was struggling and how I was able to recognize it as burnout. Burnout is not something that was just built in the day. It's not something that happened from just one event or several events. It's something that was built over time. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn that you can't really get yourself out of in a snap of a finger or just with quick steps. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to actually put in the work to recognize what you're dealing with and how to get out of it. But before we jump right into the video, if you're new on this channel, hi, my name is Lucy. On this channel, I make primarily self-development, self-improvement videos with a sprinkle of lifestyle here and there so you can see behind the scenes of my life. I highly recommend that you subscribe to the channel. We do have a good time here. I always say that. I strongly stand by that because we genuinely do have a good time on this channel. I also make content on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to have those linked below. I also recommend that you follow me on there because when it's a Lucy Benson page, always a good time. You would always learn something. You will always get the good stuff. Follow me on my socials, subscribe to the channel, and let's get locked in. Now, starting off this video, let's talk about my story, my burnout story. To give you like a brief overview and context of where I'm coming from. So I'm a content creator. I have this channel that I've been building for about 8 years now. But this is not my only baby. I do have a 9-to-5 that I absolutely am in love with. I love my job. I'm a corporate girly. If you don't know this, now you know. That is my day-to-day living. I work in talent acquisition, currently a talent sourcer. And I've been building that career for about 6 years now, almost 7 years as well. And then aside these, I have my side hustles, my businesses. And then a very important part of this is I am a firstborn daughter of an African household, Nigerian to be specific. I have relationships, which also includes friendships and as well as family and just social relationships. For you to see how my life is baked and see how everything pretty much flows, to understand the points that I'm about to make when it comes to my burnout. So I juggle all of these simultaneously. This is how I live my life. It's the way I've been living for years. And let me tell you, I've been doing this effortlessly. I've spoken about being on go on this channel where I just do things, but I don't feel the things that I'm doing. And I've been on autopilot with all of these aspects of my life for years. So I get the job done. I show up. I do what I'm supposed to do. I tick the boxes, but I don't feel the work being done. And I don't even feel myself in that present moment. I would finish a task, I would do something, but I wouldn't remember it because I'm on to the next. You know, that was pretty much my life cycle. So I'm just doing, getting things done, but not necessarily leaving the things in that moment. I never got the time to really celebrate my small wins. I wasn't visibly seeing the work being done. I knew the work was done. I packed it to the corner and then I kept moving. There was no room to be weak because all these aspects of my life needed my attention. And I felt like if I didn't give it my attention, function, something will go bad. I couldn't neglect any part of my life, so I had to show up even when I didn't physically feel like it. So many times I would force myself to do things even when I didn't want to do it. And I was fine with it. I mean, I thought I was fine with it until I hit the wall. Everything started to feel like a drag. Everything that I would normally do effortlessly, I would be very structured, very organized, manage all these parts of my life really well. I had a schedule. I was organized. I was happy doing it. I thought I was. I got to a point where everything was too much. I procrastinated a lot. The things that I used to find joy doing became really daunting. Like I felt the heaviness in my heart. Social interactions became overwhelming. I had creative fatigue. Something was pulling me from not actually getting the work done. It's like you're laying down, you want to get up, but you cannot physically bring yourself to stand up. That's how I felt. My entire routine collapsed, literally. Everything just felt like it was going to shambles, but in reality, it wasn't really going to shambles. I was just spiraling inside. I was just completely disorganized. I was tired. Okay, I was tired from within out. And let me tell you, I didn't know I was burnt out. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was in a different phase of my life. I thought I was in a different era of my life. I would just say to myself, maybe this chapter is about to close. That's the reason why I feel the way I feel, because I don't really understand why I don't want to film. I don't really understand why a simple task at work that I would do with my eyes closed is taking me 4 hours to get done. And then even thinking about the task before actually doing it, I dread it. Like I dread the process, but I love my job. I love my job. I am good at my job. What is the problem? I thought something was wrong with me mentally. I thought something was up. I just thought my body was rejecting things. I mean, technically my body was telling me to slow down, but I didn't recognize it as that because I didn't understand burnout. Because sometimes you might be doing things in life that you think is just regular routine. You're used to juggling so much, but it gets to a point where your body has to tell you to stop because it needs rest. But you don't even give it that because you don't think you should get rest because you don't think you're doing much more than your capacity. Because you're routine and kind of wired to think that what you're doing and all the things you're doing at once without giving yourself a break, it's normal, but it's not normal. I need to slow down. I need to incorporate slow living in my life. I did not realize it. And a lot of people are in this exact space. You don't know how to recognize what you're going through and call it out for what it is. A time to slow down. A time to visit your situation, do better, rearrange things, calm the noise, calm your storm. Aside from the drawback, the procrastination, the not wanting to create, I also had sleep disturbances. I didn't understand why. I thought medically I wasn't okay, like health-wise. I honestly was thinking about everything else but burnout and rest. I had low motivation. I was not motivated to do anything. I was tired all the time. And that's the reason why I genuinely thought I was medically not okay, like health-wise not okay, because I had headaches. I was tired. Let me say this, which I don't know if anybody can relate, but my situation is a bit more severe. That's what I would say. But if you can't relate, let me know in the comment section. I didn't know what tiredness felt like. That's how burnt out I was. Or that's how much I was stressing myself or stretching myself. To me, you start a day, you go, then you end it with sleep because it's the natural way life goes, right? I didn't know the feeling of tiredness. I didn't recognize the feeling of tiredness. And whenever I say this to people, and even when I was saying it to my therapist, I know she understood what I meant, but I could see the look on her face. And also my friends, like whenever I say this, they're like, how? I'm like, I didn't know what it felt like to be tired. So at this moment, when I always felt tired, I thought I was sick. I would literally take myself to the ER because that would spike up anxiety because I thought something was terribly wrong with my organs, my system, something was up somewhere. So it would spike up my anxiety and I would always go to the ER. I cannot tell you how many times I went to the ER in 2022. I can't. Actually, 2023 as well. I can't tell you how many times. If you have any of these symptoms, you definitely need to work on your burnout. And this is such a crucial part of my story because normally I deal with anxiety and I've been so transparent about dealing with anxiety on this channel. I've spoken to you guys about how I've been seeking help, how I've been, trying to work on myself and work on my anxiety and just pretty much look at it from a different picture. I have gotten all the help that I need and I am still getting all the help that I need, right? Dealing with burnout sparked a lot of my anxiety. So it made my anxiety worse. Burnout is not what you would think of in your head because prior to actually doing my research on burnout, when people talk talk about burnout, to me, I just see someone who is, in chaos, someone who pretty much is dying. Like, the way I see burnout is somebody really living miserable. It doesn't always look as miserable as you think it will look. You might be having burnout symptoms that are so subtle physically, you don't call it burnout because you don't think it's burnout, but it is burnout. My anxiety got so worse because of burnout. It triggered so much in my head because I didn't feel like myself. Also, what I realized in my situation is at certain times of the year, it got worse. So late spring, which I didn't really pinpoint at first because we're getting closer to summer, so I'm supposed to feel better. But the reason why I didn't think about it as my burnout spike in my anxiety, and also the season change and transition having an effect on that, is because typically I would say, okay, around that time is when work gets a bit more serious for me. I just push it on that. But in reality, it's a combination of burnout, spike in anxiety from one angle, and then season transition from the other angle. It took a lot for me to get to this point to realize that this was my issue. I always say this, right? Sometimes when you are in a rut, sometimes when you're in a confusing situation, no matter how well you know yourself, no matter how well you know how to handle things, and I am a self-development queen. Like, I sit down and analyze my life. I put everything down, pen everything down. I go to a drawing board. I try to look for the situation, good or bad, right? I'm a fixer. But there are times where I know I can't do it alone, and I always seek help. Me in the past, I would try to thug it out and I would hit a wall and shut down. But me now, and from a couple years ago, I seek help. And I'm never ashamed to say that because I'm a human being at the end of the day. And when I cannot do it anymore, when I cannot carry myself anymore, I will ask for help to be carried. I will ask for help for understanding. I will ask for help to do it because I know my capacity. And the reason why I'm burnt out in the first place is because I tried to do everything by myself. And that was the thought process I had when I decided to seek help concerning this particular issue. And I would encourage the same thing. A lot of people don't know that anxiety often peaks in late spring. I also didn't know that until I started to reflect. Like I said earlier, I reflected on my patterns and the combination of things that happen at that very moment, what mental state I'm in, how do I feel, what was the air like. Certain seasons bring out certain sides, 2 times the actual effect on my body or on my mental state, and late spring is one of that. And the truth is, one of the reasons why it gets worse during the seasonal transitions is because of the pressure to bounce back socially. It's late spring, you're getting into summer, you want to feel your best, the weather is getting better, you shouldn't be feeling bad. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself when what you should be doing is actually being lenient with yourself, giving yourself grace. With the way I was feeling, with everything I tried, I definitely knew that it was going to take much more than that to get me to the way I am right now. If you're not new on this channel, you definitely know what I'm about to talk about. My paid partner, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with credentialed therapists that can help you, support you through stress, anxiety, and burnout. And what's amazing is that you don't have to go anywhere. Everything is done 100% online. They match you with a therapist based on your needs and preferences after you fill out a short questionnaire. One beautiful thing I love about BetterHelp is, for some reason, you try the therapist that you were initially matched with, you don't feel the vibe, you don't feel the energy, you have the opportunity to switch out your therapist at no extra cost. I recently switched to a new therapist, and when I tell you that it's the best decision I've ever made. I have a Nigerian therapist right now that I absolutely am obsessed. Like, I love my therapist because she gets me, she understands me. And aside from your therapist, if you have any questions, BetterHelp support team is there to answer any questions you have at any time of the day. A cool point is over 69% of BetterHelp users have reported feeling better only after using BetterHelp for 6 weeks. So if you're ready to prioritize your mental well-being, your mental wellness, click on the link that you can see on the screen and in the description box below. It is betterhelp.com/LucyBenson. You will get 10% off your first month of therapy. I'm gonna tell you this: let BetterHelp help you rule your anxiety so that it does not rule you. This next session, I'm gonna tell you 5 things that really helped me to reset. This is my self-care reset plan. Now, the first thing that I did that really helped me so much is reworking my routine. I sat down looked at every aspect of my life. So everything that I've just shared with you in the beginning of this video, I made a simpler routine from those that I already had. But one good thing, one important thing that you have to do is make those routines as enjoyable and joyful as possible. I focus more on enjoying what I did as opposed to actually getting it done. It's no longer as you must get this done, you must be productive. It's one of the best things I could ever do for myself, reworking my routine, including rest, understanding slow living, always romanticizing every single thing I did, every single thing on my agenda, no matter how little. If it was cleaning, if it was cooking, going on meetings, I romanticized every process, making sure that I'm not overstretching myself, making sure that I'm truly present and enjoying the things that I'm doing on a daily. Because one of the main things that I focus on right now is being present with everything, whether it's brushing my teeth or taking a shower. If I decide to sit here and drink a glass of wine, I want to feel the flavors. I want to feel everything hit every part of my body. I want to be present, and I'm making the conscious effort to be that, especially in my routine. Now, the second important thing that I did is setting boundaries. One of the major things that I had a problem with when I was going through this was overstretching myself, right? So even when it was uncomfortable for me, I thought I was obligated to say yes. I thought I was obligated to show up. People pleasing. Yeah. People pleasing, being in that position where I'm servicing other people and nobody is servicing me back. I'm literally making myself uncomfortable to make other people happy. So I learned to say no, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how upsetting it might be to the other person. I just learned to say no, to make myself sane, to make myself be at peace, to make sure that I am actually doing myself some good. Setting boundaries really helped me stay grounded and not feeling guilty about it, because in the past I would feel guilty to say no or not show up or not be there even when I don't physically feel good. I am stretching myself and stressing myself to be in a place that I don't want to be, but I know that I don't want anybody to be upset with me. I would stretch myself to be there, but then discomfort myself even when I'm supposed to be resting. Third big thing, daily practices. I put in certain things that I had to do as like a daily practice for my release, for my wooza, for my refresh. For me, this was taking a walk. Most importantly, I talked to you guys about taking a walk because that's something that during my healing and reset phase, I realized that I really thoroughly enjoyed. That does something to my brain. It refreshes me. It makes me feel grounded. It kind of presses that reset button for me on a daily basis. Taking breaks from my phone, like everything tech, like digital, I take breaks from it. Meditation. Prior to working on my burnout and working on myself and having this reset plan, I couldn't stay still. I knew I needed to work on my nervous system because obviously that's definitely a nervous system dysregulation. I came to a point where I am now at peace where I can literally dedicate 2 to 5 minutes in a day to reflect, to breathe, to release, to reset. Now, my fourth thing, I had a complete mental glow up. So how I spoke to myself, what I thought about myself, how I thought about my life, how I thought about work, how I thought about productivity. That's one of the most important things, because I had a toxic relationship with productivity where I had to be extremely productive to feel good as a human being. And that productivity is not really just even getting things done. I needed to have proof that I had things done. So I needed to be extremely tired, tired to feel productive. Having that mental rewiring and that mental glow up really helped me understand what's toxic and what's not, what's good for my soul, what's good for my mental, and what isn't. So reframing those negative thoughts, negative mindset really helped me steer and gear towards healing, grounding, and peace. Now, my fifth thing, I slowly started regaining and rebuilding creativity or creativeness, if that makes sense. So I didn't force myself to just get back into the swing of things. I started slowly again. If I would film 4 videos in a day previously, which yes, I would 4 to 6, 8 videos in a day alongside every other thing that I had to do, I reduced it down to 1 video a day, which old me would literally go crazy just thinking about having to make 1 video a day. That is laziness. I regarded that as laziness. Old me would completely cringe. I need to film so much. I need to do so much. I built up that from 1 video to 2 videos, 3 videos. Now I can confidently film 4 videos and not not feel the way I felt months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. It's that slowly building yourself back up that's really going to get you to full recovery. You don't need to rush back into things. You need to slowly take things one step at a time. Start small and then you build it back up. Now, what does balance look like for me today? After you've heard everything I've spoken about, you've heard everything that I've had to do, how I speak to my therapist, how I've put in the work, what does it look like for me today? Balance looks like inner peace over perfection, being happy, genuinely satisfied with what I have, what I've done, the progress I've made. I believe so much in slow growth compared to how I was before, where I wanted everything quickly, fast. Now I pace things out. Now I'm okay sitting in my stillness. Now I'm okay, not ticking everything from my box. I'm okay with slow living. In fact, slow living is my identity right now. And it takes a lot of work to get to this point. And if you're currently on this journey, I want to encourage you to take your time with this. I want you to watch this video over and over again. I want you to seek the help that you need, because burnout should not be the end of your journey. It shouldn't be the end of your glow up. As a matter of fact, it should be the beginning of a new one, for you to come back stronger, better, healthier, the best you've ever been in your life. You don't have to do it alone. I always say this. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to fight alone. You don't have to carry the weight of dealing with burnout, stress, or anxiety by yourself. Always seek help, especially when you're confused with any phase you're going through, because everything is fixable. Believe me, there's always someone out there that has gone through something similar to what you've gone through. Might not be in the exact same capacity as you, but they do have experience and have dealt with it before, and they can help you. If you don't ask, you never know. And that's one thing I really needed to learn. Asking for help does not mean weakness. As a matter of fact, it is strength. The most courageous thing that you could ever do. Slow living will save your life. I've said this so many times in so many platforms, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Slow living changed my life, and I know that it can change your life. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you guys in this video. I hope this video was impactful in some way. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comment section below. Follow me on my socials, Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to have them linked below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Listening in your car, at your job, you at home, I don't care where you at. Turn this up right now, because we're about to go in. Hey, sit